made of the delicate stuff? This is a sensitivity self-check. The plain truth in black and white. The root of sensitivity is pride. And often it's manifested in fear of what others might think. Fear of being wrong or letting anyone tell you you're wrong. Sensitive people tend to have a need to always be right. When someone points out that they might be wrong, they can just fall to pieces in one way or another. Some get defensive, or withdrawn, or even angry. It's a defense mechanism. It defends one's pride against godly humility. They create a wall of sensitivity around themselves, so that others fear to approach them with anything that might disturb them or cause them to get upset. Those who struggle with sensitivity often battle with a fear of what impression people might have of them, not realizing that they're fearing the opinions of men more than the opinions of God, and that their sensitivity and fears and inability to receive instruction affects God's work adversely, as well as their personal walk with the Lord. They might feel justified in continuing to be sensitive because outwardly they appear insecure, dependent on God, because they're more fragile, as opposed to someone who is outwardly very self-righteous or self-confident and may be manifesting a lot of another type of pride. Sensitivity is a rejection of God's instruction just because it comes through an earthly channel. Sensitivity can also be manifested through closed-mindedness, avoiding confrontation, a lack of openness and honesty, among other things. So it pays to ask yourself, is sensitivity a problem for me? Getting over sensitivity is not easy. It takes the Lord's miracle-working power, and then you have to work hard at changing your reactions and habits. It takes being willing to push yourself into situations that you would normally avoid, or to hold your tongue if you're in the habit of lashing out, or forcing yourself to communicate lovingly when you don't feel like it, if you're the type that goes silent. You need to be convinced of how bad sensitivity is and how much it's hurting you spiritually and how important it is that you get the victory. But before anyone is willing to ask the Lord for deliverance, we first must realize what the problem is, then recognize that you've got it and need to get over it. Then go to the Lord and ask Him for deliverance from spiritual sensitivity, and ask Him for any counsel that will help you in your specific situation. You can also ask for prayer and help from others. Then, with the Lord's power and your commitment and determination, begins the work of changing your old habits and reactions. Here's a list of questions that the Lord gave that can help you in determining if you're sensitive. It only requires that you be fully honest with yourself. Of course, some of these can also be symptoms of related problems, such as negativity or criticalness. Here is the Sensitivity Self-Check Questionnaire. Do you often assume that someone does something because they don't like you or are trying to put themselves above you? Do you often feel that others don't value your opinions in meetings or even in your personal day-to-day relationships? When someone doesn't fully agree with you, Do you often take it as a personal issue or a jab? When someone mentions an area in which you could improve, or which you should be trying harder in, do you feel that they're picking on you or trying to show you that they're better than you? Do you struggle with discouragement when you hear about something you should be doing better in? When your friends clown around and poke fun at some blunder you made, do you feel that they're just being mean or picking on you? Do words to the effect of, "Well, I have to disagree with that," cause you to feel tense, upset, angry, or as if you have to fight back to prove your point is right? When someone you're talking to just gives you a blank stare and remains silent, do you take it that they don't like you or don't respect your opinion? When you wake up in the morning, do thoughts of people who have offended you or situations that have hurt you pop into your mind first thing? Or do such thoughts occupy your mind throughout the day on a regular basis? Do you tend to react with negative thoughts or feelings or occasionally words when others do things that you find bothersome? Do you become upset or angry? Is it your tendency to assume the worst about certain people when no facts are present to prove one thing or the other? When others voice their opinions, do you feel that your opinions are worthless if they disagree with the ones you already shared? If you had to answer yes to some of these questions, then it's time to take a serious and prayerful look at what's causing you to react in this way, and put safeguards in place and go on the attack to drive out the enemy's attempts to infiltrate your life.